Okay, so Rick tells me I need to adjust my beginning story. This starts out when we pick this Land Cruiser up. It is a 2004 Itasca 39-footer, and it's the first one we've ever owned. And had a few things to fix at the dealership where we purchased it in Vancouver, Washington. We live in Pasco, Washington, so on our trip home, after picking it up, we kept getting an error signal on our jacks. One jack signal would go off, so Rick would pull over, and I'm following in our car. So we pull over, check the jacks, and they are down a little bit on the light that went off. So we get that one fixed. We go a little farther down the road, we get another error message on a different jack, leveling jacks are what I'm talking about. And so then we fix that one, we pull over again, go a little farther, the third one goes off. So we have the same issue with that. Now before we left the dealership, they told us our right rear jack may be tweaked a little bit. Now your definition and my definition of tweaked may be different, but in these leveling jacks, the smallest amount seems to make the difference. So we finally get going again after all of our jack signals have finally gone off and Rick does not have to listen to the beeping sound. And we continue our trip all the way home without any further trouble. So we get in the RV the next day to go through and start troubleshooting anything and everything that may be wrong. And we check the dishwasher, as I have one. Yay. Don't know if I'll ever use it, but woohoo! And that worked fine. Turned on the combination washer dryer. Yes, that's really what I wanted. To find out that it went through the wash cycle fine, but it wouldn't drain out. So the pump was not sucking the water out. So, nor could we open the door to use the shop vac to get the water out. So Rick had to figure out that issue the next morning. Had to pull the washer dryer out of the cabinet it's installed in, empty the water from a bottom drain plug, pull it out and get it on its side and upside down actually on the floor to try to do all the testing, thinking it's probably the pump. Is that correct, Rick?
Yeah, I thought it was the pump. Error message on the brake pump in extra power. So I took the pump out and I tested it, and it's working fine on the workbench. So put it back in, and then called the help number, split the combination washer dryer. There's an 800 number you can call. And when I called in, and they walked me through testing it, and come to find out somebody had unplugged it from the motherboard. Once I plugged it in, it worked fine, no problem. So don't ask me how it ended up getting unplugged, but it was unplugged. So that took care of that. Plug it in, put it back in the cabinet, it's been working fine ever since.
So now you have that little story. The next issue we encountered was that the refrigerator was not cooling. So we immediately went to testing different things on the refrigerator to see what its issue was. And we found out that the, what's it called? Thermistor was not working. So we went and purchased the thermistor. It wasn't a very expensive item. And installed that in the proper place, and by gosh, it started cooling. So we were good on that. So 2 problems fixed right off the bat. That was good. And what else did we fix?
We're getting an error message on the engine change oil light. turned the key on it, stopped the accelerator real fast 6 times. And so I did, and reset the change oil light, so that went off. And there was no error messages. He said, check the brake light. So I came home and sure enough, the brake light was not engaging for the cruise control. So it was never set. So I fixed that. Unfortunately, now that switch is closing, making contact, but the control still doesn't work. So it's something else. So that's an ongoing thing. Oh yeah, I hooked up the CD radio, but I'm not sure it's working. I'm not sure the antenna or the cable is correct. So still got that to work on. Had to replace quite a few of the bulbs. There were several bulbs that were out. And so far, that's it. All the critical things are working wonderfully. Stopped off all the air. The tires were all low, so I put air in all the tires at the Flying J truck stop in Pasco. And we've been just cruising along since then without any issues so far.
Anything else on this trip so far?
Oh, we had kept getting hot. Couldn't figure out why the coach heater was running all the time. Because it has a high and it has a low. So I came out last night to work on that. And in the middle, it's off. But it doesn't say off. So I finally figured out how to turn the coach heater off so we're not cooking all the time. It's a learning curve. We're learning how all these things operate.
Part of the adventure, right?
It's the adventure, learning new things, trying different things. And I think this is going to be a great learning experience, getting us prepared to move on our boat whenever we're ready for that. So, here we go.
Okay, so that's Rick's version of everything that's happened. My version is I got to get this thing loaded, figured out what I need, what I don't need, what works, what doesn't work. I don't want to purchase additional things to keep in the motorhome from our home. That just means extra things I have to get rid of out of our home as it is for sale. And so I'm going through all my things at home, taking out of that, trying to put in stock and get the motorhome ready. For this first trip, we'll have guests once we get into Iowa, which is where we're headed for the graduation of my grandson Cheyenne from high school. And we'll have kind of a little mini family reunion while we're there, so that'll be kind of cool. I have a grandson who just graduated from preschool, so that'll be fun for him, and just starting T-ball. We'll hopefully get in time to see his T-ball game on Saturday morning at 9:30, I hope, which would be great. But I've been busy since, when did we bring this home? A week ago? A week ago today? 1 week ago today, we brought this home from the dealer. So we have been working non-stop till 11, 12 o'clock at night, getting this all prepared and ready and worked on and stocked. And just trying to think of everything that I could possibly need without overthinking it, because I can do that. But I think I got it pretty well stocked for this first trip. I'll definitely make notes of things I need, things I don't need, so I can critique that as we go. But we'll, right now we're sitting comfortable. Got our cold drinks in hand. Oh, Rick's got his coffee, sorry. I have, as I normally have, my water. And we'll see how far we get tonight before we decide to pull over and have our first trip overnight in the camper, up in the motorhome. We did take a couple nights and did a trial run you a view of what we're seeing. Not much to see. We have farm ground. We have rolling hills. We have sagebrush. So while the view is not spectacular, the drive is beautiful. It's a beautiful day. I'm not sure of the temperature, but it's 74 degrees. And the sun is shining for a change. We just came out of a weekend of full rain. So we will keep you posted as we go along and try to keep you apprised of anything of major consequence that may happen. But God willing, we'll be blessed with no issues. So with that, until next time, the rest of the story.